Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Generation Latino podcast. My name is Paul, and I am your host. You are listening to season 3, episode 19. Guys, after today, we only have one more episode, and we will return back in August. So, I get a little summer hiatus, a little break from recording and just the schedule that I've been keeping up with for these last, honestly, 3 seasons. But every summer we take a break from the podcast just to kind of refresh and just regroup and live life, if you will. Also, happy Pride. Today is June 1st. I love Pride Month. I love seeing all of the flags and all of the representation. And to be honest, I mean, I celebrate Pride every day of my life because I'm unapologetically me. But, this week we're celebrating Pride and having an honest conversation about why the LGBTQIA plus community deserves to be seen, heard, protected, and celebrated. And guys, Pride is so much more than a rainbow flag and parades. It's about courage, identity, resilience, self expression, and the freedom to live authentically. Pride is about survival, visibility, authenticity. For so many people in the LGBTQIA plus community, it's hard. It's hard for them to be themselves. It's hard to have the courage. This episode is dedicated to celebrating those stories, the struggles, and the victories. No matter who you are, everyone deserves the freedom to love openly, live honestly, and feel accepted for exactly who they are. In this episode, we talk about the importance of acceptance, chosen family, mental health, representation, and creating space where people feel safe being themselves. We also reflect on how far the community has come while recognizing the work that still needs to be done. So I really hope you enjoy this episode. More than a rainbow. Happy Pride. All right, guys. So first of all, I want to thank you for tuning in. Again, I hope you enjoyed last week's episode with Japheth. He was such a delight to have. He really was. I know I say that about all my guests, but I am very particular about who I invite as a guest and whose story I want to share. I don't just invite anyone and I just don't talk about anything. I'm very intentional when it comes to who I'm talking to and what type of light and spirit I'm putting out in the universe. I'm not into anything toxic or drama filled or, that is not my vibe. As you've known, I'm on season 3, about to wrap it up, and that is not what I'm about. It's just not my aesthetic. It's not me. It's not who I am. Also, too, before we get started into the episode, I should have done this in the intro and I didn't. But I just celebrated a birthday and that was a lot of fun. And, whenever I celebrate a birthday, I I used to be very much, like, dreading it because I was like, "Oh, I'm getting older, I'm still single, and blah, 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 blah," right? I list all the things that I should be doing by the time, my birthday arrives. But after losing my dear friend Ashley, I have really, really appreciated getting older. She was 32 when she lost her life. She actually had just turned 32, and what I've realized that it is truly a blessing to live another year and to celebrate another year. So those days where I'm like, "Oh my god, I should be doing this by this age. I should be making this much money. I should be married," or whatever the case may be. I am no longer living like that. I am literally taking every single day, every year that I get to celebrate, whether I get to be 40 years old, 50, 60, 70. It is truly a blessing. And I always knew life was short, but when I lost my friend and I realized how really short it was, I'm no longer going to be ungrateful. Not that I was, but I'm no longer going to just be unhappy for turning older. I'm going to really accept that for all that it is because it is heartbreaking to know that someone has lost their life that young with so much promise. She had goals and whatnot. But, anyways, guys, we're here to celebrate the month of Pride. And Pride to me is more than just celebration and, going out and having a good time. It's about really moving forward. And I realize how lucky I am as a gay, open, queer man in 2026. I understand too that there were so many people before me, so many men and women and trans people who didn't have the opportunities that we have today. That's just the truth. I watched so many documentaries about people in the 60s and the 50s, 70s, 80s, and even the 90s that weren't able to live authentically them. And I will always keep those people in my heart. Always. I understand that it is their shoulders that I stand on why I can have a podcast and talk about my queerness and my Latino-ness and all of that. I'm able to walk down the stage at graduation, with a pride color on me. Like, I understand that. And I understand how much of a privilege that is. By no means do I think that I'm better than anyone, or do I feel like, "Oh, I deserve this?" Yes, everything is deserved, but at the cost of other people's lives. I'm sorry. Like, the men and women who really had to fight for our rights, I will forever be thankful and grateful. And the fact that they're trying to move us backwards with all the progression that we've made as a queer community is very scary to me right now. So you have to live out loud. You have to say things out loud. And for all my queer people who are listening, you have to be loud. You have to use your voice. You have to. You just have to. So my question to you is, what does pride mean to you, right? Not everyone that listens to me is part of the LGBTQI plus community. A lot of people are allies. A lot of people support. But what does it mean to you? Like I said, for me, it's more than just a party. I think it's important to celebrate who you are. And it is so powerful. Honestly, guys, when I came out at my young age, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know what pride was. I didn't know that you could celebrate it. I just knew that I was different, and I knew that I liked guys. Like, I knew that I liked certain things. I couldn't really identify what it was. I just knew that I was different. But, I'm going to talk about the journey to self-acceptance because I believe that a lot of queer people have a hard time with identity and acceptance, right? There are so many challenges that the LGBTQIA plus community face when coming out. There's shame, there's guilt, embarrassment. I think there's fear of rejection. I know a lot of people whose families don't accept their queerness. And for me, that's heartbreaking. But also, even though people may not accept you, you have to learn to embrace who you are. Because I'm telling you right now, hiding it is not going to help. I see too many people hide their sexuality and hide their authenticity, and they don't live a fulfilled life. They don't. And there's freedom that comes with living authentically you. You don't have to sugarcoat. You don't have to live in fear. For me, if there's a guy that's cute on the street, I'm going to say, man, that guy's cute. If I want to watch a certain show, I'm going to watch it. And, I have this one issue with the queer community. You're either hyper masculine or hyper feminine, right? They call him a femboy or a mask or whatnot. We're so within the community, we're so divided into like, are you mask? Are you femme? Are you this? Are you that? Do you like this or that? And for me, I've worked very hard to be just fluid in my sexuality. And when I say that, I mean being comfortable in my masculinity, being comfortable in my femininity, because I have both traits. There's times when I'm really feminine and there's times that I'm really masculine, right? And I'm not defined by either one. That's just one day maybe I'm feeling like I want to, just put on a Britney Spears album and listen and dance. Or there's times that I want to be doing a CrossFit workout and just dig in and whatnot. So there's not one that you need to be like. So if you're listening and you think that you need to either be hyper feminine or hyper masculine, that's not true. You can be whichever one you feel that day of. If you want to put on some rom-coms and, you know, eat some popcorn and live in that femininity, do it. There's days that I wanna watch a sports documentary, and I was watching the Dallas Cowboys, which I don't even like the Dallas Cowboys, but I love sport documentaries that a lot of people don't even know about. Like, most people are like, "You like sports documentaries?" I'm like, "Yeah," like, I don't only watch rom-coms, like, I don't only wanna watch Julia Roberts movies. There's other layers to you, and I think sometimes people feel like they gotta be one layer of something when you're queer. No, if again, I can go from that to watching the Michael Jordan documentary, and going to watching sports or I wanna watch, RuPaul's Drag Race. I was talking to this guy and he was like, "Oh, I don't watch that. I don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race." And I'm like, "Dude, shut the fuck up. Like, get out of here with your toxic masculinity." Because the truth is though, there's toxic masculinity within the queer community. But anyways, yeah, learning that self-acceptance, like really embrace that and whatever it is, I'm telling you, it is so important to live authentically you, and don't be afraid if you are too much one way and you like both things, don't be afraid. But another important thing, guys, and for me, I think it's really important when you're part of the queer community is the importance of community. Right? I take a lot of pride in my friends that I surround myself with the people that I interact with. Why does community matter? Because it is there for you. Community are the people that help represent who you are. Like my friends, 90% of my friends are not queer. Actually, 95% are not queer, but they still support. They're allies. They're people who accept me for who I am and they have the same beliefs as me. So I'm not fighting with them over me being queer or, gay marriage and equality or any of that. So yeah, find people who support you and affirm you, and for me, my family is extremely accepting and loving. There's no question about it. And sometimes your family is not like that, which is why you have your chosen family, which is such a big word when it comes to the LGBTQIA plus community. It's massive. Chosen family is such a strong, strong thing because of that. So people always ask me, right? They're like, "Oh, why Pride? Why do y'all need a month? And why?" People are always like almost judgmental when it comes to Pride. And the importance of it is representation, right? And it's a reminder of progress that has been made and the challenges that still exist. I don't think people think Pride Month and they're just like, "Oh God, those gays. They're gonna go dancing and they're gonna go either all they're gonna do is like celebrate." No. We also realize, how do I say this? We also realize the injustices that come with being a queer man or a queer woman or a trans person. It is not easy. And I will say this, although I do live my life authentically, when it's Pride Month, I'm a little bit louder, I'm a little bit more spicy, I'm a little bit more sharper, I'm just it's a reminder of I am that bitch, I am fearless, and I am gonna keep pushing forward. Why Pride makes people upset or miserable, I will never understand that. I will not understand that because when you really think about the celebration of Pride, it's love, it's joy, it's happiness, it's celebration. We're never preaching hate. We're never preaching anything bad. So for people to have that much hate towards the LGBTQIA plus community, I will never understand it. And the only thing I can think about is like, wow, those people must be miserable. Miserable. Or they're hiding something and they're not able to live their authentic life because no one should have that much hate towards pride. No one. They just should not. But yeah, there's just so much more progress to do, you know? And I think it's so important to celebrate pride. So this episode's gonna be short, and all I wanted to do was come on here and really remind you that if you are struggling with celebrating yourself and struggling with accepting yourself, please make sure that you surround yourself with people who understand you, people who are like-minded individuals. Because I'm telling you right now, if you surround yourself with people who don't see what you see or celebrate what you celebrate, it's going to be very hard, especially when it comes to such a hot topic like pride, right? That. Remember that, please, because it is so hard already as it is to be a queer man or to be part of the LGBTQIA plus community or to live openly as a trans person. It is not easy. Trust me, I know I've been out for a very long time. But as I close out, I just want to remind you this. Pride is about living openly, loving freely, and refusing to apologize for who you are. It is about honoring those who came before us, supporting those who are struggling today, and creating a future where everyone can live authentically without fear. Whether you're LGBTQIA plus or an ally, Pride reminds us all that every single person deserves dignity, respect, and the freedom to be themselves. So I encourage you guys to support the LGBTQIA plus community. Go to a Pride event, go to a gay bar, support local drag, support local queer bars. Reach out to someone who may need support. Share this episode with a family member or a friend. But guys, please, 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 please remember that your stories matter, your voice matters, and you deserve to take up space exactly as you are. Please remember that. And for those of you guys who are out there, embrace your authenticity. Once again, if you're not, follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, put on a review. You can follow me on TikTok at Generation Latino Podcast. Guys, thank you so much. We have one more episode. Season 3 is almost done. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. And please enjoy your day. Happy Pride.